right, horror heads, welcome back to another Horror 365 Live. I am your host, the mouthpiece of the Northeast, Jimmy J here. And guys, listen, this week, I know it wasn't promoted, but this is what we do here every Wednesday night. You know the routine, you know the time. Well, it's a little earlier than usual. Usually it's 8 o'clock we start, but start a little bit earlier this week. This week we're talking Child's Play franchise. And I know it's something like, why? Like, what made you decide to talk about this? Well, guys, honestly, I don't know. Just watched Child's Play 2 the other night, and I said, you know what? Let's just talk about Child's Play this week and see who wants to engage in the conversation. You know what I got to start doing, though, horror heads, is I have to start putting together a schedule of things for the month, maybe at least 2 weeks ahead of time, and see what you guys want to talk about and have everyone on here start engaging in the conversation, because that's what it's about. This is the whole reason we decided to do these lives on Wednesday nights, is to get all the horror heads involved in the convo and just to talk horror. There's nothing off the table usually. I mean, we try to stick to the topic, but as you've seen the past couple of weeks, it goes off road sometimes. And you know what? There's no right or wrong here. It's just us talking about what we all love here and what we celebrate, not only in October, but 365, baby. It is Horror 365. So, yep, Halloween. Oh, my God. Guys, I'll tell you, I'm all over the map today. Child's Play, okay? You know, you think of the major franchises, right? And top three usually come to mind: Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street. Child's Play is the one that we all know. It's a major horror franchise, but it's like the redheaded Chucky doll of the franchise here, you know, and of the major horror franchises, I should say. And I look at all the sequels Child's Play had, and there were some really questionable sequels. I know I've said this before, entertainment is subjective, but my opinion, there were some really bad Child's Play sequels. So I think after the first two, it started, you know, go in that direction. But I want to talk about, obviously, the original 1988. Don Mancini got this idea for this movie basically from the Cabbage Patch craze that was going on, the doll craze back in the 80s. So Mancini decides, you know, he's writing this, and this was also the original, directed by Tom Holland, and this whole concept of a killer doll. Now, I got to tell you a little story about me, but this guy right here. So this was the first one. Child's Play 2, not the original, but Child's Play 2 was the first movie I've seen, horror movie as a kid, that scared the living hell out of me. And after that, I was terrified of dolls. Like, I, to this day, cannot stand dolls. And it stemmed from this. I mean, it's just creepy. My grandmother, she had porcelain dolls in the house, and I'm like, there's just something about it. I know they're like a conduit for spirits, but like, you know, it just creeped me the hell out. And especially if I had nightmares as a kid watching Child's Play 2. And then, you know, growing up, obviously starting to get more into horror. I've said this before also. The first horror movie I rented was Jason Lives, and started, you know, dabbling with the Friday the 13th franchise and the Halloween franchise and Nightmare on Elm Street. But, you know, Child's Play 2 always holds a special place in my heart for that reason. But going back to the first one in 88, you know, I remember seeing this one years later after I watched 2. And as I got older to actually understand the movie and I look at it, I'm like, all right, so this is pretty much almost like a supernatural horror flick, slasher flick, because Charles Lee Ray, the Lakeshore Strangler, gets killed in a toy store, okay, and off of a voodoo ritual. Now he's transferred his spirit into this doll, okay, and it was the first thing that, you know, before he died, that was right there. It was this good guy doll. And now you have this spirit of a serial killer in this doll that's going around killing everybody. And I'm like, this is so outlandish, but like, you know, you think about it, it's different. It was definitely different for the time. And, you know, I looked at the original one, and, you know, Alex Vincent played Andy. He was just an incredible child actor. And you could tell, like, even it's hard. And I know this, it's been said before too. When you work with children in movies, it can be very difficult because you got to get them to stay focused. You got to get them to remember lines. So I looked at this. It looked like it looked on screen effortless, and it flowed pretty well with Alex Vincent as the child that they decided to go with for this movie. And I think the acting in the original, and even the second one for that matter, was on point. Very believable. I loved in the beginning how they showed you how all of this kind of came to be, and then eventually we found out, the story behind it about Charles Lee Ray and the voodoo and all that good stuff. But now this doll's going around. Obviously, we know the whole story, but I'll kind of sum it up. He's going around killing people, and they're thinking that Andy is crazy. This kid's talking about a killer doll, like Chucky's doing it. Like, what's wrong with you? It's a doll. It's not real. Eventually, we find out, he's not lying. That window scene, the window death of the babysitter, I forgot her name in the original. I always love that part. I'm trying to remember her name, her real name, if anybody's on. Let me see if anybody's up in the comments over here. No, we got only a couple viewers, and I'm trying to think, what was her name? Jeez. Can't remember, but Catherine Hicks was Andy's mom. She played Karen Barkley, and I was wondering if she was going to be in the second one, but she was not. And I got to be honest with you. I mean, she got another incredible actress. Between her and then Chris Sarandon as Detective Mike Norris, it was just the chemistry was there, and then the scenes where Chucky came to life was very entertaining. I mean, as I got older, I started laughing at it more, but obviously as I was younger, I was terrified from this. But anyway, I thought the original was a damn good film, but I liked 2 better, and I think it was because, I don't know, it was just the conclusion of it. I feel like in the toy store, some of the lines, the introduction of Kyle, I think with that, and now we see Andy, he's in foster homes. He's getting transferred around here because of what happened, and his mom's not around. And that whole story, how they continued it, I really enjoyed that. And, I just think the overall, Chucky in general in the second one was just better than he was in the original. And in the accent, you got to talk about the voice, right? Brad Dourif. Incredible voice actor, very distinct voice. And if I had to take a guess, where was Chucky from? Just by the voice, I'm thinking Brooklyn. Just Andy, playtime's over, Andy. Just the accent and how he delivered it. I love it. It's one of those horror voices that, very distinct. You're never going to forget. Just like Tony Todd. Rest in peace, Tony. We lost a legend, guys, last year with Tony. And just thinking about this right here, going back to Child's Play. I know, guys, I may be babbling, and it's because I'm trying to wait to see if some people come on just to kind of engage in the conversation. And this is why we're starting to do the lives every Wednesday to get it flowing here. But in the meantime, I'm just going to continue to talk about, what I feel about the franchise. I mean, I think overall, as a whole, for the Child's Play franchise, it's not one of those that people automatically think, this is, or at least on some people's top horror franchise of all time, but it's definitely up there. And, you look after 2, it kind of got weird. Like 3, now they changed the main roles, the lead role. It wasn't Alex Vincent anymore because he's supposed to be older. He's in military school, and now the doll follows him to military school, and he's trying to, it just gets crazy with that one. Although it's a guilty pleasure, I watch it from time to time, but it's definitely not one of the great, better films in the franchise. And then we just got we got into some weird stuff in '98 with the Bride of Chucky and then the Seed of Chucky. I did like, though, the introduction of Tiff, of Jennifer Tilly. I mean, she has another, very distinct voice, and love the chemistry between the 2 dolls there and how they told that story. But it just got it just got so what's the word I'm looking for, guys? It was like there's a cult following behind The Bride and the Seed. It's not definitely not one of the better films. It just I guess I can compare it to what happened with Nightmare on Elm Street. After like 3, it started getting more comical. It started getting more outlandish, and that's what happened with The Bride and Seed. And we seen the kid was born, and there's shit face, and Chucky has a kid, and it's with a British accent, and I mean it was hilarious. It was over the top, but definitely not like the original 2. And then later on, and I was surprised at this, and these 2 films people don't talk about that often, is The Curse of Chucky and The Cult of Chucky. Now we start seeing Brad Dourif's daughter, Fiona Dourif. Now she gets pulled into the franchise in both films, in The Curse and The Cult. And I actually really enjoyed The Curse. I forgot what year it came out, but then seeing Fiona on there, and she's wheelchair bound, and she's being taken care of, and then having now Chucky delivered to the house, and he's continuing his reign of terror, causing chaos with the whole family. The kills in there were just I really enjoyed some of the kills, man. I mean, and then the poison scene, the dinner scene, I remember in the Curse, everybody's sitting at the table, and you don't know who has the poison in their food, and it just makes you think, who is it, as they're eating it. And I'm like, oh man, I hope it's not the kid, like starting to think who's going down from this. And then eventually we find out it's the pastor, and then he he gets killed, car accident, that whole decapitation when the cops arrive. Hopefully I didn't spoil it. Hopefully you guys already seen that. And but I did love how they ended that, and what they did with that film, and then transitioned into The Cult, where now they're thinking she's nuts. They're thinking Fiona Dourif, her character, is completely nuts. She's in the psych ward, and doll comes back, and even in the psych ward, even in this one, I mean, I thought the actual Chucky doll, I didn't like how they designed him in both of these films. Really, I wish they would have went back to his design in part 2 or the original. But that's just little things of me nitpicking at these films. But like storyline wise, I did enjoy it. And I love how we've seen in The Cult, the latest one that came out, we've seen Alex Vincent grown up, Andy grown up. And what does he have in the room? Like this guy, Andy's grown up. He's traumatized from this doll. This is basically his whole life. He's been tortured by this doll. He's bouncing around foster homes. The guy can't settle down, can't find a woman. He's trying to be honest and talk about, this is my past. And they're like, this guy's nuts. And he just can't find nobody. So now who is his life partner? Well, the very doll that started it all. It's Chucky. He's living with Chucky. He's torturing this Chucky doll in his house nightly, apparently, because this is his life now. It's dedicated to just torturing this doll because he can't have a serious relationship. And I love that. I love the fact that they brought him back as, an older Alex, as Andy in Chucky. And then we seen a little cameo at the end with Kyle coming back, Christina Elise. And it was well done. I really enjoyed that part of it, like with the Cult and the Curse. Well, that was the Cult, but the transition and what they're trying to do now. Obviously, we've seen at the end the connection with Fiona Dourif and with Jennifer Tilly at the end of the Cult, and then we got the TV show, which we're not going to talk about the TV franchise. Excuse me, not TV show, the TV show, Chucky show. Just keep it to the movies. I wonder though, are they going to make another Child's Play movie? And if so, is it going to be? Are we going to be able to see at least some of the main characters, Fiona and Jennifer Tilly? Is Brad Dourif going to do the voice? Are we going to get another film? I would like to see what happens. I would like to see, because I didn't watch the whole series, the whole Chucky series. I don't know if anybody else here had seen that, but and if you did, just correct me if I'm wrong on this. I want to see what happens now as Fiona's character. I believe at the end of the Cult is Charles Lee Ray. His soul's now in her, and that Tiff is Tiff, obviously, and then That's Charles as the girl. Now, what's happened? Are those two going to come together and start causing chaos? Are we going to see, Alex Vincent and Christina Elise come back? I think I got her name wrong. Jeez. I know it's Elise, the last name. I am horrible with names, guys. I'll tell you right now. Let me pull it up right here. I know Elise is the last name. Yeah, Christina Elise. I got it right. Okay. Thought I was wrong. But, yep. So are we going to see both of them come back and try? I don't know. I mean, I want to see them make at least one more film and, put it to rest from there. But I thought when I first heard about the Curse of Chucky coming out, actually it was already out when I heard about it. There was no huge promotion. At least I didn't see it. And I'm like, oh boy, after what we got with the Bride and Seed, what are they going to do there? But they completely switched it up and started a whole new storyline. And I think it was for the better. But going back to the original, the roots of it, 88 and then 1990, a couple years later, coming out with part 2. I just don't think you're going to top those two. And it's just because of the whole story and Chucky himself and the lines and the kills. I really enjoyed. Think about the kills. The second one with the teacher. Oh my goodness, what was her name? Again, bad with names. But when he killed Mrs. was it Kettleworth? I think that was her name. He killed her with the ruler, and just the fact that knowing that it took 19 people to control this doll, okay, how in the movements and stuff like that. Thinking about how long it probably took to do that scene itself is incredible, and he looks so damn real. And I love the fact that it was practical back then, it's not CGI. If you're doing CGI, you have to do it right. So you're going to have to spend a lot of money. I mean, it's very expensive from what I found out to use CGI in your films. And I think most of us can agree, most of us, especially diehard horror fans, we can agree that practical effects we prefer over CGI. And, watching more recently some of the newer horror films, in particular, Terrifier with some of those kills, practical effects, and it shows you that it stands up today. Like you can use practical today. You don't need to get everything all computerized, even though it look good if it's done right. Still, I prefer good old-fashioned practical kills, and that's what we got in the original. And don't want to talk about the whole Child's Play remake movie. I believe it was 2019. Wi-Fi Chucky. Not going to talk about that, but I think about the concept, and I know like Don Mancini, he wasn't a big fan of the voodoo aspect of it, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, how would you have this doll come to life if it wasn't for like some spiritual thing, some voodoo thing? So I would have been interested to see what would have happened with that and which way the story would have went. But yeah. Oh, speaking of the story, thinking about it now, I think about in the Curse of Chucky when they transition to a whole other storyline, the backstory that they had, the flashback scenes. I enjoyed those scenes so much because now we got to see exactly what happened with Charles Lee Ray, exactly who he was. They tied everything together perfectly. Tied all the loose ends, who this guy was and why he did what he did, how, he got, the crime he committed, and then he ends up, getting killed. They show that scene where he gets killed and what happens. So that right there and how they tied it all together in The Curse of Chucky with the flashback scene, okay, with Brad Dourif himself playing Charles Lee Ray, I thought was phenomenal. I thought that now, after seeing that, now everything just makes more sense. And transitioning now into the next film, The Cult, it just flowed so well. And that's why I want to see another one. I want to see what they're going to put together, if they're going to put together another Child's Play. But if they do it, they got to do it soon. Because, the clock is ticking Brad Dourif is not getting any younger. He's the voice. I can't see anybody else playing the voice. I mean, his daughter, Fiona, but like really nobody's going to do that voice. It's just like when we think about, Tony Todd, very distinct voice, and like as the King and Bloodworth from the Final Destination movies, and you think about Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund, who's going to have that voice, So I think if they do make another movie in this Child's Play franchise, they have to do it sooner than later. But overall, I think about if I had to rate these movies, like, okay, 1 all the way down the line. I said my favorites, I'm still going with 2, only because I've been traumatized as a kid watching that. And overall, it's the most rewatchable, I feel like, the most rewatchable out of the entire franchise, my opinion. So I would go with 1, and we'll go with 2, followed up by 1, because it's the OG. And then I would have to go to The Curse and The Cult. And the other 3, The Bride, The Seed, Part 3, you can throw into the mix somewhere in there. I don't know. Like, they all fall in the same category after that. But yeah, definitely it would be 2, 1, Curse, Cult, and then the other 3. So it looks like this week this live is probably going to be shorter than usual here. This was like an impromptu discussion. I, again, had no promotion for it on social media. That's my fault. Just was trying to see if any other fans want to jump on, talk Child's Play, trying to think of anything else from the franchise. And we talked about some of the kills, and very creative they got, and definitely some of the later films. Trying to think, the eyeball kill. I remember that one in The Curse. And I'm trying to think of another one. Part 2. And it was Mrs. Again, I'm probably butchering the last name, Kettleworth, when he took the basketball pump right to her chest and then eventually whacked her with a ruler, took her out. Some of the shots that they got. You know what got me in part 2 too? Part 2 was the foster father when he broke his neck. Oh, man, I felt that. I did. And then the scene in that really had like chills is when we seen Christina Elise find the other Chucky doll underneath the ground when she was on the swing, and like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? That whole vibe, very tense. So I enjoyed that part. Again, the conclusion as well. And then, Chucky had that iconic theme at the end, but they were also going to add, from what I read, they were going to add a theme song, which they should have. They should have had a little jingle to the good guy doll and the Chucky like jingle, because then that would have added just more to this franchise. You think of great horror franchises, and they have like killer music behind it. Halloween. I mean, come on, it's the most iconic theme John Carpenter put together, and it's not even that complicated. Like, I think anybody could play. I could play it on the piano. Just the Halloween theme, but it's so iconic. And you hear it, you hear the first couple notes, and you know what's coming right after that. And then you think of what Harry Manfredini did with Friday the 13th, and it was very high pitch kind of theme, but again, distinct, and you knew when you heard something like that, or whatever, that's Jason. Okay, boom. And that very tense atmosphere and tone that it created. And then, Nightmare on Elm Street, dun, 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 that right there, you knew it was Krueger. So if Chucky had something, that would have just amplified that whole world right there, that whole Child's Play franchise, added, something else, spiced it up a little bit more. But, we did have that song. I remember that too. I can't remember exactly how it went. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. But I think about it though. It's one of those franchises that not many people have on their top, and it's like we know that's one of the greatest horror icons. Maybe not going on the Mount Rushmore, but Chucky is, but it's just not in a lot of people's favorites. And then what I've found out recently, speaking to a lot of different horror fans and people in the community, is that they tend to go with, the three big ones that I named, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th. And right after that, I'm hearing Scream, or I'm hearing Texas Chainsaw, which makes sense, Leatherface. And I'm like, okay. But I think if we got some better films after part 2 of Child's Play, Chucky would have been right there with the others, like right on that same level. I just think it just went downhill, part 3. And again, I do enjoy the movies from time to time. I know people, they're diehard fans of Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky. And while there are some good, additions with those films, and really, I guess the biggest thing was Tiff, with the addition of Tiffany, Jennifer Tilly. It's not fan favorites, cult followings, but not fan favorites. But again, hopefully, not going to be a dead horse here. Hopefully, we get to see at least one more Child's Play film from this. Now, let me see. There was something else. Hey, the doll thing. Just reading up here. Yeah. So, give me a second, Horror Heads. Oh, sorry. It wasn't 19. No, it was 11 people that were controlling Chucky. And look, another fact here: Jessica Walter almost voiced Chucky. That would have been interesting. And yeah, I mean, trying to find some other information just to throw out here for you guys. But overall, I guess for me, what really completed or added to the franchise more than anything, as they made the later films, was what I said before, was the curse and how they tied the story together, because everything just came together with that film. And if you haven't seen The Curse of Chucky, just check it out. I'm not sure where it's on. It might be on Tubi, Amazon Prime. I'm sure it's there. I might have it in the comments below to take a look at it. But I want to hear from you guys. So I want to hear, what is your favorite part of the Child's Play franchise? And shoot us. You can put, comment if you haven't done so already. Boom. You click subscribe below, ring that notification bell. And then, of course, you can subscribe on YouTube right here at youtube.com/horror365alive. On Facebook, if you're watching, well, you're already there on Facebook. But, check us out over here, HorrorHeads365 on Facebook. And shoot us an email, horrorheads365@gmail.com. Anything you want to hear us talk about, let us know. I mean, we're going to wrap this up over here because not much really engagement happening, which, hey, listen, not a bad thing. We have to keep this flowing here, guys, and keep it more consistent. Got to get more promotion out there for the episodes coming up next Wednesday and the Wednesdays thereafter. It's going to get more interesting. We are going to have guests from time to time jump on these lives depending on the discussion. So stay tuned for that. I'll keep everybody updated. Again, this is the infancy stages of these lives. As we grow, there's going to be a ton more engagement, I'm sure, with everybody on here, sparking more conversation. Not just me sitting here for about a half an hour babbling about something. So, I appreciate all the support, everybody out there that has followed us and celebrates with us Horror 365. And I want to tell you, wait a minute, hold on one second. Oh, my main man, Tony, what's going on, buddy? Chucky's eyes were used for the Crep Keeper. Thank you, sir, for that fact right there. Did not know that. You learn something new every day. And that's one thing I'm taking right there. Chucky's eyes were used for the Crep Keeper. But like I said, guys, we're going to be kicking it up over here this year with content. And every Wednesday night, we're going to be doing lives. You never know who can jump on. Any of the horror heads, the Horror 365 family. And again, shout out to Johnny Sparks, who has joined us the past couple of weeks. Swift, who's joined us week 1. I know there's more people coming on. Horror Daddy will be a part of this. Maybe the Horror 365 Final Girls, Creepy Betty and Black Dahlia. Of course, we got Ian the Wolfman, the Universal Monster Specialist, the King of the Roman Empire, Steve Roman, Matt and Ruby, from Creepy Emporium. I mean, we have a large family here and then extended family. Stay tuned tomorrow also. I want to throw this out there. If anybody's watching this in time or live right now, Mondo Doc, so an extended Horror 365 family member, Lawrence Milano. He has an incredible YouTube channel doing documentaries at different locations. Check him out, Mondo Docs. We are in partnership with them for this recent video that's already dropped, but we're popping it on here tomorrow morning. It is a shop in New Hope, PA. It's a museum of horror. Very interesting. Check that out. We're going to throw it up here in the morning. And Lawrence just does incredible work with these documentaries, and we're so proud to be a part of what he has going on. And, moving forward, there's going to be more content with that. And then, guys, like I was saying with content, we're going to be having some guest celebrities on, pre-recorded interviews. I'm hoping to come back with the channel pre-recorded episodes sometime in March. The goal is to have it seasonal, where we're running between maybe March and December, March and November, around that time. And it's only going to be, predominantly special guest on the show, because I've noticed that's what we've been getting a lot of requests for, especially when we weren't doing a lot of these interviews. Oh, when are you guys going to be interviewing other people, talking to other people? That gets a lot of traction. So stand by for that, because I'm planning around March time, around, when convention season really gets in full gear, full swing, that we're going to have some celebrity interviews coming on here, or people in the horror community, ranging from actors to production and directors and, special effects, makeup artists, and all different kinds of people in the horror community that we will be talking to and interviewing. So again, those pre-recorded episodes will be coming back around March. But every Wednesday, you can join us right here every single Wednesday for a live, different discussion. So again, keep this in mind. Every Wednesday, lives in March. We're going to be coming back again weekly, maybe bi-weekly with some episodes. And of course, we've been getting some questions about the content that we created last year with Leatherface and a music video that we did, and then House of a Thousand Corpses, where we did the mashup with Hell House and House of a Thousand Corpses. And I'm happy to say, man, we got positive feedback even from Bill Mosley, Robert Mukes, and, Rob Zombie, that crew. And I just couldn't believe it. Blew my mind. And we're definitely going to be creating more of those funny videos this year. So stand by for that. We have a lot of cool ideas, a lot of killer ideas, and I can't wait to, pop them up here for everybody in the community. But one second, guys. Oh, I'm talking way too much, getting parched over here, a little dry. But yeah, anyway, so any suggestions, any comments, anything, shoot us that message either on here. You can shoot us the message on, oh my goodness, just as we're about to wrap it up, let's get him on here real quick. Oh, Johnny Sparks, baby.
Hey, what's up, man?
We're just wrapping it up right now, but I wanted to get you on here to say hello to everybody.
What's up? Well, you better carve out another hour and a half, because I'm about to get started.
Oh, yeah, I mean, what people don't know is, like, when you and I conversate, you have to give us like at least 6 hours, because that's about around about time. My man Tony, the main man, yeah, he is. That's Johnny Sparks himself, man. The most.
Tony?
You want to tell people what I do every time I send you a message? Go ahead.
It's an introduction like no other.
So I'll give you that intro right now, and I had a little water here. Okay, guys, horror heads, gargoyles and ghouls, please welcome the most electrifying cosplayer in the game today, the man with the
golden,
the one and the only, Johnny Sparks, Triple X, baby. Let's go.
Come on. You're too kind. You're too kind.
I think I just woke up.
All right, maybe a little more, right? You just woke up the whole neighborhood.
It's early enough. There's no curtain voice, ordinance over here. So continue.
Hold on a sec. Let me see. Well, I have a double thing. Hold on. I have a little technical issue here.
I appreciate you jumping. I was just wrapping it up because I was.
There we go. Okay, now I'm in real time.
So
Yeah, I just want to jump on here. I couldn't make it on earlier, so just thought I'd chime in for a minute.
No, I appreciate it.
Of course, of course.
I know the scheduling with everybody. That's another problem. Scheduling issues, and I get it. Everybody, work lives. We have things going on. So, either way, I appreciate anybody taking the time.
Yeah, man. Of course. Everybody's busy trying to make a living, and it's crazy times we're living in, but good times. Like you said, good times to be alive. And so, yeah.
I like that Return of Living Dead hat over there, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. And I got to pop up you know what? I'm going to pop up sometime this week, your Suicide Zombie get up. That's when, we first linked and you had that killer cosplay, man. And it's just your costumes, your cosplays are just absolutely insane. Seriously.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you.
Dude, really, man, because you take that extra step, you build it, you add music, added music to this, you go all out, man. And it shows the passion and it shows the dedication and how much you love it. So
absolutely. All cosplayers, especially the horror community, everybody tries to do as best as they can to represent that franchise or that character. And so I love it. I love seeing all the creativity, and a lot of hard work goes into it. And for me, I like to try to bring not just a character, but maybe a scene from, have people relive a scene or something from that movie. And so whether it's Tallman, Suicide Zombie, Freddy, Fluffy. And so that's why. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up Freddy, because you know what? Very soon, we don't have a date lockdown yet. We're going to be having something else added as far as content goes to the channel, and live stream in particular, Freddy Fridays. And that, guys, anybody viewing this now, guys, girls, it's going to be something very, very entertaining. Let's just say that, because John, you're going to be in the Freddy gear, and we're going to be talking about different topics in the horror community, different,
Hold on, Jim. Let me just check my calendar. Hold on a second.
There it
is. I saw this online, and I was like, "Hey, any Freddy K fans out there, get online and get this while it's available." Pretty cool. 2025 Freddy Krueger calendar for the 40th anniversary.
Oh man, look at that. That's amazing. Yeah, 40 years. Last year, 84 came out. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. Of course, I'm like, I can't. How could I not buy that?
Dude, so you got that calendar. You have to cut, save the date, cut it off the calendar. And
what better to put in Freddy Fridays in the Freddy K calendar?
There it is, bro. No, but seriously, that's going to be entertaining because, with you as Freddy Krueger talking about maybe some of these horror icons or people that think they're iconic, compared to you, and some of the latest news going on. That's, I can't wait to get that rolling as well. So,
well, like I said, hopefully, just to have a little fun, enjoy, like you said, enjoy it 365 and or bi-weekly, whenever we are able, however much we're able to record episodes, and just have fun with it and celebrate it, and hopefully put a smile on some people's faces. So that's really what it's all about, just having fun and celebrating it. And so, definitely looking forward to it, of course. I don't know, I have to send you, maybe you've seen it when we were at Monster Mania last year at Oaks. Me and my buddy, we were cruising, taking the drive over from the hotel, and dressed as Freddy and Jason.
Oh yeah, no, and on the page.
Okay, so, and it was just really, it wasn't planned or anything. My buddy had his camera in his hand, and we used to just for the goof take these little on the way videos and stuff like that. And I was like, "Is that thing recording?" And he was like, "It is now." So it's playing some Queensryche on the ride over, and I was like, "All right, we're rocking out. Let's rock out with everybody and get the vibe going." And so it ended up just was random little, I don't know, 50-second video.
Little things like that, man. People enjoy, and it was funny. It was entertaining. And shout out to Big O. The
Yeah.
extended Horror 365 family member, Big O, for dressing Jason. And he has the presence, man. He has the build, the stature. I mean,
Yeah,
he has that lockdown.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So that was a fun little spontaneous little recording. And so you never know. That's the thing. We never know, right? We have a lot of good ideas cooked up that'll hopefully draw the fans in and get a few laughs out of it. And yeah, definitely look forward to it for sure. Absolutely.
I appreciate it, man. And I want to get your thoughts before, because we just wrapped it up. But now that you're here, I want to get your thoughts on Child's Play and the franchise as a whole. Anything that goes through your mind when you think of these movies, maybe your favorite part. Let me know.
I mean, you know me, I'm an original guy. So
Yeah.
I'm an original guy from the OG. From no, but I always tend to gravitate towards the originals. Great cast. Everyone in the original from the first movie the cast from the first movie have all gone on and been in so many other great films. You know, Brad Dourif, he's an iconic actor. Love him as Greenbaugh Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
And of course, several other roles. Let's see, Catherine Hicks, she's fantastic. I wish she would come out to one of the conventions on the East Coast here, or at least somewhere in our realm of horror conventions. So she's great. And of course, Chris Sarandon, Jerry Dandridge, Fright Night. I mean,
yeah,
it's he's iconic. Alex Vincent, he's great. I've had the opportunity to meet him. He's a regular Monster Manias and NJ Horror Cons and stuff. So he's great. He's always so friendly and personable. And Jennifer Tilly, of course, who came on later in some of the sequels. She's great. I think she was a perfect addition to the franchise. And for me, I kind of get lost a little bit when there's too many. But I always find Chucky is kind of like Freddy in a way, where he's always got these good kills and these really funny one-liners and stuff.
Yeah.
And the things that he does. So it's amazing that a little 2.5 foot, 3 foot doll, however tall he is just like become. Yeah, well, just saying, like, he more importantly, that a doll is become an iconic horror figure. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's a fun franchise, and I'll occasionally watch the original, and once in a while I'll catch one of the sequels. I think Jennifer Tilly was a great addition, and
her voice,
so, yeah,
man. Another one I was saying earlier, her voice very distinct, and I say this respectfully, she could have been a 900 operator back in the day. Not one of those number. Well,
because of a sweet voice you're talking about.
Sweet voice, exactly.
Yes, of course.
Very, just respectfully speaking, like she had that kind of voice. But
oh my goodness, super sweet. I mean, I remember her in in Liar Liar.
Back up you.
Yeah,
and over Andy.
Yeah,
voice, man.
Yeah, it was a great idea. I thought. I don't know if it was derived from an older movie, but it was definitely an interesting concept at the time when it came out, and look at the popularity it garnered.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And I was talking about earlier how the first one I seen, first horror movie I remember seeing was Child's Play 2. Scared the hell out of me. I hated dolls ever since. My grandmother had all these porcelain dolls, and it's like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was the whole deal, man. I mean, overall, John, though, what do you think? Your original, is there anything else from this franchise that stood out to you, or that you enjoyed or disliked?
Well, like I said, there's some of the movies kind of go off the rails a little bit, and it's been a while since I've actually watched most of them. Yeah. But there's just some of those memorable scenes, so many of those memorable scenes, rather. And especially in the first one, where he's just going around and messing everybody up. And I think that it touches on a couple of things, actually. a couple like fears and realities. So, well, one thing is the scene where the mom, Catherine Hicks, has him up at the fireplace scene when he finally reveals himself to her,
Yeah.
and she's like,
Yeah.
like in her mind, you got to think like, okay, am I crazy? I'm fighting, like I'm arguing with a doll, and she's like, it's like, what is going on here? And then when he says to her, what does he say? Is something, you bitch, and he grabs her and bites her and everything, and
Yeah.
yeah.
He starts going nuts. You see the arms flailing and stuff. That's funny.
Yeah, she's
like,
right.
But
Yeah, she's about to throw him in the fireplace. But I think that, and I find that this happens in a lot of movies where the person, like where he's trying to convince his mom that Chucky's real. And at times, I think maybe we might have all, when we were young, we were trying to convey something to an adult or somebody else, or get them to believe something. And there might have been times where we were not believed that something was happening, something was going on. Maybe you saw something, this whatever sibling did something to you, and that part kind of came through really well. Like you could kind of feel for him and for Andy, is that this doll is, Chucky's, he's scared. Like Andy's scared, and he's kind of reaching out for help from the one person you think you can always rely on, right, is your mother. And when nobody's believing him, it's like you really feel bad. It's like someone believed the poor kid already. Like,
yeah, and for him, like, you were waiting for somebody to actually find out the truth that this dog is possessed.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about it. It's you're able to build that anticipation where you can't wait for the moment, and that moment came where she's got him up in the air, and she's like, "You better talk to me, you son of a bitch," whatever she says, and and finally he reveals himself, and it's kind of like, you know what I mean, like times where I've said a lot of crazy things in my life when people didn't believe me, and then when I could finally prove it, when people would see it with their own eyes, it's like, okay, finally they believe me. But now he's trying to kill everybody. So it's like, but
it's great though. Like from the first one into the second, how they burned him, and then how he came back to life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's why those two. I mean, I can watch them even as double feature or whatnot, and and enjoy it. But like I was saying earlier too, it just got a little weird. Third one, Beyond.
Yeah.
But have you seen The Curse of Chucky? I think it was one of the later ones.
I probably did, but I would have to rewatch it. It's honestly been quite a while. Yeah. But is there something particular about that one that you liked, didn't like?
Give it a watch if you can, because it shows a cool backstory, Charles Lee Ray, and it ties everything together from the original. So definitely.
Yeah, I mean, right. Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it. Like I said, I pretty much watched them all. I mean, like I said, I kind of enjoyed them, and like I said, they kind of fell off a little bit, but I think the introduction of Jennifer Tilly kind of put it back on the map a little bit, because she really, I think, added a lot to it, and that whole the whole relationship factor where. It
started getting weird when she introduced. However, she did add something special to the franchise, and I'm grateful for that. So that was the best thing that really came out of The Bride and Chucky.
The commitment, right? Now that's commitment from a woman, when she's willing to put herself into a doll just to be with you. And so,
I mean, it's hard to find somebody loyal like that and committed. They're ready to go. I mean, I think either way, those are very comfortable. I mean, they added something different to the whole franchise.
Think of the argument. Imagine they have an argument, right? And he can't say, like, "What have you done for me lately?" Because you're like, I transferred my body, my soul into a doll for you, Christ's sake. It's not enough for you, mister?
How are you going to argue with that?
Yeah. And
it's hard. It's just, but I think even you go ahead.
And just also think about one other thing. So let's see. What year it was? 80, 87. What year did it come out again, Jim?
80. The original was 88.
88. Okay, I was thinking 87. So I also like the fact, well, the interesting part with the whole black magic aspect, because that part, I think, I know a lot. You know how they talk, like it's talked about in many different areas about that stuff being real, you know, like real zombie people and black magic and things like that. And so that's kind of, and that was a popular theme I find in movies from 80s and 90s. A lot of these movies incorporated some sort of supernatural black magic aspect, and so I kind of like that, even though that stuff kind of like
I mean, I believe in it.
Yeah, that's so. I think you never know, right? It's like, hey, is there really a curse like that out there? I'm not going to find out. I'm not buying a Chucky doll, a good guy doll. So
I'm not gonna, you know, I know, like
nope.
voodoo in particular.
Yeah.
Down south, especially Louisiana.
Yeah, that's right.
The Haitian culture.
Yeah, man. So I like that aspect of it, is that you have that whole black magic aspect of it and that voodoo. So I actually wondered if any part of that had any legitimacy, you know, if that was actually taken from something. But I like that part. It has that little supernatural aspect to it. So
I was wondering because what's his name, Tom Holland in the original, he didn't like that. Or not, Don Mancini didn't like that part of it, like, you know, as far as like the voodoo aspect, and I wonder how they would have did it without that. You know, how would you have this doll come to life without some sort of
I guess you can't. Right.
Yeah, like
right. How that's that's right. How do you do that? How do you accomplish that? So maybe if you can figure that out, man, and then there you go, and I have a next big bestseller franchise
with the new one, like the remake, and I believe it was 2019. It was like Wi-Fi Chucky, I call it. Yeah, it was bad, man. I mean, in my opinion, it was bad. I know there's probably some people that enjoyed the film, and hey, if you enjoyed it, that's your thing. It's subjective, but for me personally, it wasn't one I enjoyed. It. You know, they tried so many times to remake these legendary franchises, like what they've done with Nightmare on Elm Street in 2010, big disaster, and then Friday the 13th with 2009, which I thought was decent, but I don't know, man. They just need to leave it alone. I mean, if you're gonna make sequels, it's one thing, continue on, but remake it, I'm not a fan. That's a whole other conversation. But,
right.
But yeah, man. So ultimately, like with Child's Play, I wish I had more facts lined up. I think next week, John, I want to come up with something earlier, like that we could figure it out. And this is my fault this week, because I know all of us have been pretty busy, and then with myself, this very eventful weekend. Last minute, I didn't even promote it, like to have more people tune in. So I'm thinking about having a topic or something ahead of time. So for this weekend coming up, I'm going to do that and announce it on the page, maybe Saturday or Sunday, and then this way we can get people engaged and ready for Wednesday night, including myself. Because I just was looking. I was hoping to have other people jump in and give me their stories about Child's Play, with, they thought of any one of the films, anything that stood out, anything in particular, kills, whatever. But we're just getting this rolling over here, and I got to shout out to you guys right now. Every week, you guys have been awesome. Tony, big Tony Masseri, and then of course the main man as well, Jay Rogers. I appreciate you guys, man, very much.
Thank you
tuning in. So it means a lot. Just listen to me babble. And by this time of the day, guys, just so I throw it out there, I'm up like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, usually around 5. So by this time, I'm a little off, because my brain is fricasseed right now. And as much energy as I have earlier, it just dwindles down.
Yeah.
I'm getting old, buddy. I'm getting old.
Well, listen, I know. Soon we're going to be looking like the Crypt Keeper. On here, like.
That's another thing, the Chucky laugh.
There you go. Well, listen, you know what, Jim? It's it's a lot of commitment. It's a commitment. It's a lot of work, and you said you have a lot going on. I have a lot going. Everyone's busy, and so we're just, like you said, just on here trying to have some fun. Reach out maybe make a few people laugh, have some smiles, have a little some nice conversation, and just enjoy it, right? And so
a little more laid back, on the live.
Yeah.
That's what I like to be, because like when we,
Yeah.
and you were a part, I think, of a couple of conversations that we had with different people that we interviewed. Like when we have something like that, it's a little more structured, a little more,
Yeah, of course.
definitely different than these lives. And I want everybody to understand that too. Like Wednesday nights, it's a hangout. That's what I want it to be, a hangout with the horror heads. And we're just talking about whatever it is, any particular topic. Usually have some news that's out there. There's really nothing of substance, I feel like, at least. Maybe I didn't see if some new article came out the past few hours, but yeah, well, yes, we know Return of the Living Dead and 40th anniversary.
Yep, I'll jump in there for a quick second, because we were talking about this last time. And so they did launch for Trash's Revenge on let me see, the website was I meant to reach out to you about this earlier, but what's that, Jim?
No, it's breaking news. Tell me what's going on.
Oh yeah, so on Cinebacker, Trash's Revenge is up for anybody that wants to go and sponsor that film she's working on with most of the original cast. She's brought back most of the original cast.
Right? And
yeah. So Linnea Quigley is pretty much spearheading it. John Russo is working on it with her. Beverly Randolph, Miguel Nunez. I think Tom Matthews as well is working on it with them. Let me take a quick look here. Like you said, I know we're kind of just flying by the seat of our pants over here. But let me see. And you got there's a whole host of when you can contribute however a certain amounts, and there's all kinds of goodies that you get for all different levels of support. And what's really nice is that you can contribute a certain amount, and you can be an extra, or you can also even be a zombie in the movie.
Really?
So yeah. And let me see. I want to make sure I'm not leaving anyone out. Like I said, I'm kind of just winging it here as well. But and they're filming in London. They're filming in where else? They're filming in New York. They're filming in London, and they're filming somewhere else. I think in California. I don't know where in California, but they're filming in those locations so far as what I read. Oh, I'm sorry. UK. Yep. Okay. Said London, New York, Cali, and let's see what else.
I'm trying to look this up. Yeah, I was trying to see.
Yeah. So it's it's on Cinebacker. CINEBACKER.com. And so if anybody's interested or wants to go out there and show them some love, they're out there raising money for this for the film. They're also doing a documentary on the filming of this, and you can read all about it, whole synopsis and everything.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share this tomorrow.
Okay.
The links to this is Cinebacker, Linnea Quigley. That'd be great if we can get her.
Trash's Revenge. Yeah,
maybe that's what we should do next week. We'll have a Return of the Living Dead discussion, 40th anniversary discussion. Maybe we can get somebody on the live. And just
I'll reach out. Yeah. I'll reach out, and because it's funny when I was looking at where was I saw the one. It's kind of splashed around on different sites, and there was some pictures scrolling around on the bottom, and if remember as we were talking last time, I think I mentioned that the picture I took with her many years ago when I was in my Tall Man costume. It was up on the site. So
it's still there? Oh wow.
Yeah, the picture was still there, so that it's nice to see that they're still using it in recent media.
That's awesome.
Or with the recent media. Yeah, so it's a funny picture because I'm just I got my arm over her shoulder and she's got this look like, oh man, he's at it again.
Yeah, no, dude, again, cosplay, one of the cosplay kings Okay,
Well,
between seriously, between you and Horror Daddy, man,
and Horror Daddy, yeah.
man, you guys kill it, really, and it just adds. I know we talked about this too. It just adds that other layer to it. Having these characters come to life and have people take pictures with them, and act like you're hanging with these characters or you're back in the movie. But if you can, that would be great. Let me just see though. Switching back, Linnea Quigley, if we can.
I'll reach out. Yeah, I'm going to email. I'll email and see if I can make some contact there, and also talk to them about they're going to be doing a film, the premiere of the movie. They're going to be doing a premiere on the West Coast, on the East Coast, and in the UK. So, hey, maybe we can collaborate something. I can come if they want. Tom in at the premiere, rolling around, zombieing around on the runway, or the Suicide Zombie. I'll offer my time.
That would be amazing, John. That would be, and any help that we'll get in communication with them, and I'll definitely try to see if we can line something up like that. Any way we can help promote it, any way we can help with the project in general. Premiere, that would be great. If we can come out there. And I know
absolutely.
You would, man. That would something we got to talk about for sure. So that's the combo next week. That's what I'm gonna pop up out there. Hold on, we got something there, Tony.
Yep. We got the reunion. Yeah, that's true. I was going to mention that also. James Karen and Don Calfer are going to be brought back using CGI. When I read that, I was like, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So it's
I got to see that too.
And if they're doing, so that's the thing. It's like, okay, they got CGI getting thrown into the mix there. So it's a nice combination of practical effects and CGI, and the CGI is going to drive up the budget, of course.
Yeah.
And but you got to see the rewards, man. I'm telling you, go to Cinebacker, just search for Trash's Revenge, and you look. They have a lot of perks, a lot of nice perks, and I'm glad that they're opening up the opportunity to fans, like diehard fans, like us, myself especially, where you can, of course, I get it, small contribution, you can have a part, and so I'm hoping I'm able to make something like that happen. I'd love to be a zombie in the film.
You would do a tremendous job. I'm confident. You would, because I mean, my man. If anybody has seen you on here at conventions, they know how you get down, man. They know how you roll out there. You're all in, and you're just like fully.
And it's
in that character. So
and what's fun is I did Tall Man at Oaks. I wore out the Tall Man at Oaks, and so it was fun. I tied first place with actually one of Horror Daddy's buddies for in the contest. So me and him shared the first place at the contest for, I think it was scariest the category. And it's so, as much as I've been cosplaying for a long time and doing my own Halloween home haunt for well over a decade. I was talking to a few people about this, and I was watching the video. A couple of people were nice enough to take video of the contest, and the whole thing with Tall Man is really the walk.
Yeah,
it's they say you can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk?
Can you walk
and
the
so,
walk?
yeah, and I'm just like, and it's like you look at Alan Troutman, and he's also going to be at. I don't know if I mentioned, but they brought in everybody for the reunion at Monster Mania. So I think I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but yeah, Alan Troutman will be there. And so Alan Troutman is 6'2". So, he's thin. So he's got long extremities. So when he does these movements, these kind of like flowy but jerky movements, he does it. So it's amazing. Like if you watch this scene where he comes up the stairs before he's decapitated, and the way he moves is so good. And so, I finally, it finally just kind of clicked. I felt like at the contest, I felt like, I don't know, it just felt really it just kind of fell into the groove, felt comfortable. And so I feel like, okay, now I'm confident enough to show Alan Troutman my stuff.
There is.
You know, yeah, the old break and the old Electric Boogaloo days, man, it's starting to come back, starting to feel it.
I start doing that too much. I'm pulling the shoulder. That's it.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm like, believe me, I'm always, well, that's the thing. I'm always like kind of conscious of that when I'm in costume. Granted, it's not as big and cumbersome. Well, it is a little cumbersome because it's completely covered with the bones and everything, and it's like a spandex suit with the layers on it. After a while, it starts to get uncomfortable, but just trying to kind of get those movements down, right? And so it's like, okay, I'm like, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to strut my stuff in front of the man, the OG. So
hit the catwalk, man.
Yeah. So it's so that was fun. That was fun doing bringing Tom in to Oaks and having fun with it and getting up on stage. Yeah.
I'm hoping we can bring Tarman out to a future event. Maybe the premiere.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe if we can get in conversation. I
don't
want to throw anything on here now, but maybe we can get in conversation.
Of course. Yes.
Something together.
Yep.
So definitely talk. We'll talk off of here and.
Yeah, Absolutely.
But
yeah. And I think Tony posted. I think Tony put something up there before about to reach Linnea.
Yeah, LinneaQuigley.com.
Okay.
Contact her.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we could. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'll reach out to her through socials, through Instagram and everything else. So because she's pretty active on those sites.
We'll be on top of this because like next week it would be great to have somebody, any one of them on there. I mean, I've talked with Miguel previously. He was actually scheduled to be on an interview with us. He had some things going on. This is last year when we would have like one of the final episodes, pre-recorded conversations. And I met him a while back too at the Living Dead weekend where I seen you over there. You were Tarman over there, so I seen you over there a few years back. But we did the "Ooh Baby" thing, Miguel, and I had a good conversation with him over there. Guy has just tremendous energy, Miguel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was trying to get him on here, and then Tom Matthews was another guy I seen over there, and we've had conversations small little conversations outside of here. Another gentleman I was trying to get on the show, so I'm thinking maybe if we can get a few on once. Let's talk Return to Living Dead. Let's talk
sure
event, anything coming up. So I'm going to reach out to. I'm going to text both Miguel and Tom.
Yeah, I've met I met Beverly Randolph and Tom Matthews a few years ago at NJ HorrorCon. Have some really nice photos. Also, John Russo took some nice photos with him. Everybody's, I mean, of course, they were kind of like surprised to see full Tarman in front of them, and with the, like you said, with the music playing and everything, and they get a kick out of it. They're like, "You got the music too," and have some nice pictures with John Russo. And obviously, of course, Linnea. And so, but I've met them, Linnea, more than once. And so it's always nice. And they're always very welcoming and appreciative of your effort and the fact that you're a fan. And so, yeah, it's definitely something to look forward to, for sure. And I'm glad to see that there's still interest. Now I know on the Cinebacker, they have a pretty high goal to reach.
Okay.
So it just started on the 20th, I believe. So we're on day 2, day 3. But I'm hoping to see that it gets the love that they're looking to get. So I'm not typically active on socials, but I hope to get back to being a little active, once I get through the next coming week, as with stuff going on at home. And so, next couple of weeks will be a little busy for me. And then hopefully we're all good here. No more health issues, and get back on track. And we can, look forward to whatever is to come with this whole, I don't know if we call it, it's not really a spin-off, but a continuation of what's going on. And it's interesting if you read the synopsis of what happens I don't want to say too much, but in case people
I
want to
got
keep it a
I gotta get
surprise.
on there for sure. I gotta
Yeah,
get on there for sure and read it. I mean, again, this is one of those movies, Return of the Living Dead. It's up there in my top 10 of all
yeah,
time. This is again rewatchable, and you think about just the music in there, the party time, the vibe. It was so
yeah.
80s, man, and it was a great zombie film. It really was a great horror film in general. But
Hmm.
you know, I would love to see if we can, like I said, do something here. I'm going to promote this, the link for her, and I'm going to tag her as well on the Horror 365 page,
Of
and let's see if
course.
we can get what we can get rolling. Hopefully, she meets her goal. And do you know how long the
Yep.
campaign is? Did you have an opportunity to see how long?
Uh, Let me see if it says here.
So I
Don't
remember when we
mind me.
went
I'm like,
on recently with Ken Sago, a good friend of ours, Ken Sagos
yep.
from Elm Street. He had, I believe it was a 60-day campaign. I believe, or
Yeah,
30.
I saw it somewhere. Let me see if I could find it. Like I said, I'm all over the place here. Mm, 36 days left.
Okay. So yeah,
So,
probably around 40 days. Yeah. Okay. We
so I'm,
definitely gotta promote. Now's the time. Let's just try to get promotion out there for her and for this.
yeah,
So
yeah. And like I said, eventually, I mean, I haven't contributed anything just yet. I'm waiting to see, what I'm going to do. We'll talk about it. Of course, maybe we'll do something collectively or something. And, but I haven't contributed yet. And, so yeah, I'm just looking to see what happens when we can hopefully create, do something to help promote. And sure, before we do any sort of contribution, we'll
yeah.
start by spreading the word. We'll start with that contribution, and then so
And we'll
hopefully
go
we
from
can.
there. Yeah. We'll see
Yeah,
what
I guess.
we're able to do. And
Yeah, so
maybe
I'll
get a
get more
little
active.
video out there. Yeah, get a little
Right.
promotional. Yep. That's what I'm
Yeah, I'll
thinking.
get more. Yeah, I'll get more active, and I'll I'll also, Jim. I'll send you, if you want. I can send you the photos. I'll dig up those photos
I was just going to say that.
because
Yeah, please get them out here because then we can start throughout the
yeah,
next week or so. I'll start popping them up there and
yeah,
draw some attention to what's going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because if you wait for me, it'll be Trash's Revenge number 10.
No, but in all fairness, John, you have a lot going on, man, and
Yeah,
I told you already, we're here for you, buddy. So I'm
I
hoping.
appreciate it, man.
And
Thanks. Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow is a big day, so we'll.
yeah,
We're
please keep me updated on everything outside of here.
of course.
We're live. I don't want
Of,
to, So
yeah, I get you. It's okay. Listen, it's just life. We're all.
Yeah.
This is the reality. I used to always be worried about. I mean, I don't really put my personal life out there. I try to keep that private, as a lot of people do, which is kind of a reason why I don't do too much on social media. Even if you look at my Instagram, it's pretty much all cosplay and a couple of other subjective topics about health and stuff, but it's mostly cosplay. And so, but I'm pretty open about most things because, Jim, as we get older and we go through these trials and tribulations and shit, and yeah, that's it, Tony. Absolutely. It's just life, and we all go through these roller coasters. Unfortunately, we're all on this roller coaster, and some of our roller coasters have bigger falls, and some have bigger highs, so yeah, this is it. I like. I find that when there are other podcasters or whatever, there's a couple other shows that I watch, and I find that I connect with them better when they just reel about everything, because this is just life, and so sometimes we have things that come up and.
John, I'm glad you said that, man. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm glad you
No,
said that.
jump
Because
in.
you know what? I was thinking about this for a while now, and it's just society too. It's hard sometimes to say what you want to say, especially because everybody will crucify you. And I just feel like the more organic your show is, and the more real it is, whatever, the better it is. And I really want to start. This is what I like with these lives too. I mean, I love this factor, just being real on it and talking.
Yeah, of course. Sure.
Like how we would talk, and obviously professional still and respectfully,
Of course,
but
of
still
course.
being able to be open about things. And I love that. I love that fact. And that's
Of
what we
course.
tried to do in the beginning. I tried really hard just to be, one way and like super professional, but it came off, for me at least, it came off like not that real. And it's just I wanted to transition out of that with the interviews and stuff like that. So we got to keep it professional, because I know some people, I don't know who we're dealing with a lot of times when we talk to people, as far as like what's going through their mind, as far as like, questions or experiences that they've had on shows. So try to make everybody feel comfortable, and we move on from there. But like what we have here,
right.
Open book, organic, man. So I appreciate
Of course.
it. And
of course. And Jim, the one thing, unfortunately, it just always comes with any territory from what I've learned. Because we've both had experiences professionally and personally, that there's always, unfortunately, going to be people that may not like that you're trying to do something positive or just doing something that garners some attention, and they'll misconstrue and twist everything that you do. So if you say, like, for example, you don't like 2010, the remake, and then someone out there will take those words and twist it around and say that guy hates on the Freddy Krueger franchise. He's, you know what I mean? So it's just for example, so there's always people that
has something to say, that wants to stir something up on social media and like twist your words around. And but you know what? I stopped. I got to a point where I just stopped reading the comments. I stopped reading the comments, because at the end of the day, you know what? You're going to have those people. You're going to have people that are just going to look at only the negative and whatever you're saying, or just try to have you say something else so they can twist it. They have nothing better to do. And you know what? It is. I go with it. It doesn't faze me. It used to bother me in the beginning. It doesn't bother me anymore. Because this is people, unfortunately, especially nowadays. But
that's right. And there's nothing, and that's the thing. Look, there's nothing wrong with showing vulnerability in anything, whether it's this or any that I find in any part of life. Like, for example, somebody will probably, somebody doesn't like our conversation. They'll go, I'll point one out. Ready? Like, look at that guy's ceiling fan. It's filthy. You think
Yeah, like, Joe, okay, clean the ceiling fan, bro.
That's look at that thing. It's horrible. I haven't dusted it in probably 2 or 3 years. But you know what? I've just been. I've had bigger fish to fry, and definitely, I'm close to. I'm moving the fish tank out of here, going downstairs, and I got to repaint and I got to respackle and repaint this whole thing anyway. But I'm just saying, like, somebody will be like, "Oh, look at this guy. What is he? Like, go dust that ceiling fan, please." But before you. Who cares? There's people like Tony's on here, who's great, hanging in with us the whole time, and I know you mentioned there was one other dude hanging with us.
There's another shout to Cody Dempsey.
So right. Kudos to all of those
people that I pay attention.
Whoever's whoever's hanging out with us this whole time and listening to us blab on, and it's it's appreciated, of course, and so. And that's it. Like you always have your core that just appreciate what you do, and that's it. And so
we have Meta who shadow bans us when we have thousands of followers, but we can't seem to get like 100 interactions on a post because Meta, with the shadow ban. So that bothers me, because like we have some really good quality posts, especially from you guys. I love promoting the team and what you guys do, and it's just I wish it got out there more to other people, because I know we have a large follow. I get a ton of messages on the inbox, but like when post, the only thing that really gets seen a lot is reels, and reels I've noticed they do really no pun intended, really well. But they have some interaction going with there, and that's what I like. I like people to interact so that we can get ideas. It could spark other conversations and other ideas for other things that we can do and try to add to it to make it entertaining for everybody here and have fun. I had somebody, speaking on what your point, somebody had said to me, there's two different people. One guy messaged me about, I think it was after last week's episode, and says like it was pretty much putting me down about like I'm not a real horror fan, and I don't know certain things about certain whatever, but I don't even remember the whole thing. I laughed. I said, so please tell me what to you is like, how is somebody a real horror fan? Like, explain
Right.
to me
What
how you become,
constitutes? Yeah. Well,
exactly. And he gave me some really just absolutely crazy response, and I'm not even going to say it, but the bottom line is I laughed. I'm like, okay. And then I had somebody today on my personal page, right? On my personal Facebook page, tell me, like, how do you run horror 365, but yet you're talking about non-horror related movies? Because I put something up there. And I says, and I told this person straightforward, I says, oh wow. So, you're a diehard horror fan? And they responded, yeah, no, I'm horror through and through. I said, so you don't watch any other movies? You don't watch anything Marvel? You don't watch anything comedy? Oh, yeah. Do you have any favorite TV shows? And gives me a TV show. Okay, Last Man Standing. I'll throw it out there. And I seen that show before. I said, that's not horror. So why are you watching that? You're not a real horror fan then. If you're watching that, if you're telling me that, to be a horror fan, you have to only watch horror. It's crazy, the logic on these people. But then they capture back. I don't even know why I entertained it, but I did.
Yeah.
It's a laugh, John. Real quick to sum it up. So they basically said, yeah, but you found horror 365. So I admit I am not the most knowledgeable horror fan out here. There's people that could take me to school with some facts and some horror information, and I love it because I want to learn more. I'm open, but I started this, John, because I truly grew up on horror movies. They may be older commercial ones, and I got to start to see the more obscure ones, but I grew up on this stuff, and I am Tony. Yes. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. Just a promoter, man. But I create, this is one of my passions.
Amen, Tony. Yep.
I love wrestling. I love nostalgia, the 80s, 90s. So I'm that guy, but I'm also a horror fan.
Of course, and that's right, Jim. And like I was saying, that's the thing. It's for the good thing is, they say, one or two bad apples can spoil the whole lot. But in this case, it's not the case. It's not true. As long as you don't allow that to be the case. And so, did I lose you? You froze. Oh,
am I here?
Oh, you back, Jim? You hear me okay?
I hear you.
All right. Oh.
Yeah, the service
okay, I think you're back. Yep. Okay, hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
All right. Okay, so like I was saying, like I said, they say one or two apples can spoil the bunch, and that's only if you let it. In this case, who cares? There's always some. And you know what? Hey, look, that's their perspective. That's fine. They can have that's fine. They can have, I can respect. I don't agree with that perspective, but how about coming on and saying something constructive or something that could contribute to the whole conversation? How about, or say, hey, I prefer to stick to purely horror conversation, but how about this or how about that? To me, I don't understand why people waste their energy and trying to then transfer that energy to someone like you, who's always out here trying to do so many positive things for people and bring people together, like bringing me on here and just having these, like you said, purely organic, real world conversations. And you don't have to be a scholar. There's a lot of things that I do in my life that bring me enjoyment that I'm not a scholar in. And so, unfortunately, we weren't born with silver spoons. We all have to work for a living, right? You have family, I have family. And, I'm 52 years old, bro. I was watching these movies before a lot of these people that are sending this kind of feedback. See, because to me, that's maybe not always the most mature person, but I still respect the opinion. And I was watching a lot of these horror movies before some of these people were probably even knew what it was or were even born. So I'm just saying, like, you don't have to be a scholar. And nowadays, I find at my age, my memory is sometimes kind of lacking, especially when there's so many other things going on at the moment. But yeah, we're just out here doing the best that we can and just having fun with it and enjoying it and trying to just spread positivity. That's the
it.
key.
It's all about
We're
that,
not
man.
out.
It's all about the positive energy. Because
Yeah.
when you manifest, you can manifest positive or negative things. And you think about it right now, you send out positive, you're manifesting positive things. Send out
Yeah.
negative. I used to be pessimistic a lot, and I stopped. I'm just always thinking positive. And, that's what we try to promote here. And talking about, again, promoting and something positive going on. I've said this other gentleman, other extended family member, Lawrence Milano, Mondo Docs, incredible documentary. We're going to pop out in the morning. And now, Linnea Quigley, I want to pop this up there as well tomorrow. Link for this crowdfunding and this project, Trash is Revenge, and we're going to get that out there. So yeah, John. With that being said, brother, we're gonna wrap it up this week. I appreciate you jumping on. If there's any last things you want to say, the floor is yours, my man.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, last live we were talking about Freddy Krueger and that whole thing, and so something I learned recently that I forgot to share was that so when they were casting, when they were looking to fill the role of Freddy Krueger, do you know that Mark Hamill went to the audition for that? But Robert Englund didn't even know about it at the time. So Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, went and auditioned. He didn't get it. Him and Robert Englund were living together at the time, and there was another friend that was living with them. And so when Mark Hamill got back to the apartment, wherever it was they were living, and he was like, "You got to go audition for this part. I think you'll be perfect for it." And so. Yeah, man, and that's how when I found that out, and actually when I got to meet Robert Englund last year, and I was asking him about some of that stuff during the signing, and because he was signing my hat, so it took him about 5 to 10 minutes to do the signature on the hat because it's I don't know what the exact material.
Yeah.
So he has to go over each letter a couple of times.
Okay.
So I did a quote and the signature and the character. So it literally took them about 5 to 10 minutes. And so there's a little pointer to anybody who wants to stall if they get to meet Robert Englund at a signing and you want to, I ponied up. It wasn't inexpensive, but it was worth it because I got the extra time to spend with him and just ask him questions about that stuff. And he loves sharing it with everybody. And it's really nice because he's engaging and you can have back and forth on it, and you can elaborate on something. If he says something to you, he'll explain something to you. So like when he was explaining that about Mark Hamill and all of this stuff, and he says it in such a way where I suck at it, but you get it from the man himself, and to hear a lot of these little things and these little nuances. And so that's a fun little factor that I don't know if many people know. So shout out to Mark Hamill. Appreciate
so you're telling
his
me
help, his assistance.
Passed the force to Robert Englund, and that's it. I mean, think about it right there. I mean, if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for Luke Skywalker, Freddie wouldn't have been Freddie.
That's right. Right. And also, check this out. I know, like I said, I looked at I recently learned this, but I forget already. The other friend that was living with them, I believe, is the one who wrote the script for The Lost Boys.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
think about that time period. 80s.
Yeah.
Wow. There's probably so many stories.
I know, but just think about those three together, right? You see, these three stupid kids, right? Like, what are they doing, right? Come on, they get a life, kids, and look at the impact they have made. I'll try to get more of the info, like the exact info on that, because we did talk about that. I mean, again, this was early last year. When I say I learned about it recently, I mean like early last year.
Yeah.
But but it was interesting to find out about all of that stuff. And
that's great. I appreciate you sharing that.
Of course, and so that's my fun little tidbit for the night.
You're the man, John. I appreciate it very much. Appreciate
Likewise.
everybody that's tuning in. Of course, Tony, thank you for staying and hanging with us. Jay Rogers, Victoria, Cody Dempsey, you guys, I see you guys all the time on here. Yeah, I know there's more, and forgive me if I didn't mention you, but I see it. I see you engages, and I can't thank you guys enough for celebrating horror with us 365, baby. And that's it, John. The most electrifying cosplayer in the game today. The man with the golden tights, the one and the only Johnny Sparks, baby.
Thank you.
Joining us again. Thanks,
You're
John.
too kind. You're too kind.
Stay tuned, Horrorheads. Next week, we're going to be talking Return of the Living Dead. And who knows, we may even get a surprise guest. I don't know. We'll see about it. But, John, if you're going to be here next week, I'm going to see you next week, buddy, and we'll talk soon.
Lord willing, I'll be here with you, and happy 2025. Spread love and kindness, everybody. Spread love and kindness.
Thank you for tuning in, Horrorheads, and thank you for celebrating horror. Not only in October, but 365, baby. We're going to see you next week.